2020 has been an extremely difficult year for everyone. And at the moment in Melbourne, we're still in the depths of a very tight lockdown. We want to be able to support those people in our network and in our community and give them some advice and some guidance on how you may be able to cope a little bit better during this time. And to help me do that is Will Centurion, who is a counsellor and life coach. He has come and done a mental wellness workshop for us, and we wanted to share some of his advice with the rest of our community as well.
So I guess to kick off, my name is Will Centurion. I run a counselling and life coaching practice. I do focus on actors, singers, dancers. I also have started to move into corporate industries as well. I guess, my mission is to provide obviously mental health support, but also to provide practical solutions that people can integrate into their day-to-day lives. What I like to aim towards is giving people tools to put in their toolkit so that they can self-manage and self-regulate. I enjoy creating relationships with the people that I work with. It's wonderful and rewarding to see self-improvement and self-empowerment. It's a pleasure to chat to you and to hopefully share some insight.
Well, thank you for taking the time to share your insight. Obviously, it's been a very difficult year for everyone. What are your observations in regards to some of the common struggles that people are facing, or a unifying challenge that has come up a lot in your experience?
I think one of the biggest things that people are experiencing at the moment is disconnection. People are feeling further and further away from the things that are important to them. So that might include like people being disconnected to community or to structure or to motivation or to confidence, to some sense of safety or sense of security. Being disconnected to future is a big one, to like a sense of belonging or a sense of hope. So it's interesting that we're going through this individually, but we're also all going through this at the same time. So there's some comfort, I guess, in knowing that we're not going through it alone. It's a shared experience. It doesn't lessen the impact or lessen the blow, but it means that there are a lot of people searching for answers or searching for solutions or searching for relief. This time has forced us to think locally, to think more about where we do have some management or some control at the moment. Even putting our own houses in order in a time of so much chaos gives some sort of relief and some sort of fulfillment. And it's something that people are really, really needing at the moment.
And for those people who are looking for that relief, what are those practical strategies that they can use to get their own mind in order and, as you said, their own house in order, so to speak?
Yes. So when we talk about putting your house in order, I'm not talking about interior design or anything like that. I'm talking about you as your house. Some simple things that people can do. This is going to sound really weird. The first thing in the morning is making your bed. That gives you some sense of structure, some sense of order or management about the day that you're about to have. So start there. Start with what you can do in your room. Then move on to creating, I guess, some sort of a practice that gives you some nourishment or some fulfillment. So creating like morning routines where you do a little bit of yoga or a bit of meditation, a bit of journaling, where you might listen to a podcast. You might watch something on YouTube that inspires you. You might step out on your balcony and just get some fresh air. Little things like that just fill your tank. They give you a sense of empowerment and a sense of order. They allow you to put the oxygen mask on you first before opening yourself up to the world. We're working from home at the moment. That can become quite exhausting. So just implementing the practice of taking breaks, stepping outside if you can, changing the environment up a bit, not making it all about work, just finding ways to sustain your creativity and to nourish your mind and to be playful and curious. Like all of these primal things, all of these human things are really, really important now more than ever.
Of course, yeah. And I like what you said about putting the oxygen mask on yourself first before moving on to other things with business owners and people that may have high intensity jobs, I've noticed that they are often intentionally or unintentionally reluctant to put themselves first or take that time for themselves. And like you said, some of those things like making your bed in the morning, it might seem really simple, but it's important to have that reminder, and you should take the time in the morning to set up your day and set up yourself for success and put yourself in a better mindset.
That's it. I think mindset's a big key word, and it starts by, even the whole working from home thing. So just changing your clothes so that you are this different character when you're in your workspace or when you're in the work zone. Little things like that are really, really important because they just help you shift your energy. They help you shift your mindset. Movement is what creates energy. So, being stationary the whole day isn't going to create any energy for you. So, then we kind of wonder why we're feeling you know, less motivated or why we're feeling lethargic or why we procrastinate. It's important for us to create some kind of movement, particularly at a time of so much chaos and vulnerability. It's the little wins and the little actions that matter the most. So finding time to create what that is for you authentically, because everyone's different, and finding time to implement that as a practice that's sustainable is important.
Yeah. I think sustainable is an important thing as well. It seems like some people are taking lockdown in their stride and doing all these
Mhm.
amazing things, but that may not be sustainable for you. It might not be sustainable for them.
It's easy to, get caught up in the look how well they're doing, or, like that person's just flourishing right now. Why am I not? But we're each unique. We each have our set of experiences. And so just be kind to yourself. There's no point in trying to be who you're not. So you are allowed to feel your feels. You're allowed to have ups and downs. You're allowed to have good days and bad days. We don't have to all bounce back and be resilient. That's not everybody's process. So I think respecting what your process is and just trying to live day by day authentically and with a sense of self-compassion and self-kindness is really important. It's okay to say today was not so great. It's okay not to be okay. Knowing that tomorrow is a new day and tomorrow brings a new opportunity.
That's a refreshing thing as well. Just because yesterday was a terrible day doesn't mean that today has to be. On the flip side of that, if you've had a couple of really good days and then you do have a terrible day, I feel like sometimes there can be a tendency to sort of add to that by beating yourself up and going, oh, I was doing so well, why have I fallen down again?
Yeah. We're each going through this process through our own timeline and through our own pace and through our own approach. You can have a couple of great days and you can be booming, and then it feels as though, the rug's been pulled out from underneath you. Now, that's not a sign of failure or a sign of defeat. That's just, I guess, a reminder that we all have the capacity to be vulnerable, that we all have weaknesses, that we just need to continuously check in on ourselves and, that do the best that we can to dust ourselves off and keep going and keep fighting the good fight.
Pre-COVID life could be very hectic. Some people didn't have a lot of time for themselves, and if now is when you have time, then it might be beneficial for some people to sort of explore what they might want out of life or how they're feeling, and if that isn't what they want, how they can change it.
Yeah, beautifully put. That's totally it in a nutshell. We do have some time on our hands at the moment. We do have an opportunity to press pause and process. We live in a very, very busy world where it's all about productivity and the end goal. And it's nice to take some ownership of this time and to use it for ourselves.
Hopefully, our community and our network are able to take some of those strategies on board and take that much needed time for themselves.
You're allowed to give back to you. In fact, now more than ever, it's encouraged. You don't have to grow incrementally every day until you hit some kind of peak, ups and downs, peaks and troughs. For now, we've just got to learn to ride the wave.
And it's sort of riding the wave as opposed to fighting the wave, because the wave
Yeah.
will always win.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you adapt, you allow yourself to have some flexibility in your approach. You try to look at things with a bit of a growth mindset.
And for those people who are interested in developing more of that growth mindset, or perhaps having a more active implementation of those kinds of coping strategies in their life, I believe you offer mental health workshops, and you obviously have counselling services and life coaching services.
So, one of the biggest questions that I get asked about my services is what's the difference between counseling and life coaching? And so I will explain it as this. Counseling is a space for you to be seen and heard without any judgment. It's a space for you to sit with your pain or sit with your story to get some clarity around why you feel the way you feel and how you want to process that and how you might want to turn that into something beneficial. There's a lot of empathy in the room. It's not about needing to get anywhere quickly. Life coaching, on the other hand, is a bit more about empowerment, motivation, goal setting. It's working towards an objective. It's understanding that you have this vision or you have this mission that you want to work towards, and some blocks are going to present themselves and are going to get in the way, and we work together to navigate around those things in real time. But there's no sense of being stuck. So they're the two differences between counseling and life coaching. If you are interested in any of the counseling or life coaching services that I do offer, you can check out www.mrwillcenturion.com. The whole point of seeking out any kind of therapeutic support is to shift your experience so that you end up feeling lighter, feeling as though you have more management over your situation, to meet you where you're at and to partner with you to help you move forward.
And I definitely encourage people to reach out if they need that connection. They need to talk to a friend or they need to talk to a professional. There's many resources available for people.
We will all come out the other side of this greater for it. Something that's very difficult to see when you're in the eye of the storm, but there's got to be some purpose in all of this pain.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate your help, both to us as a team at Aintree Group, but also for agreeing to share some of your expertise and advice with our wider community.
You're welcome. Look after yourselves and take care and look after little you.
You too. Make sure you're getting that self-care in too.
Nice to chat to you.
Nice to chat to you.